Hi. It's been a while, but I am back. I have had a lot of things change in my life since I posted previously, and I've tried to make this video a couple of times, but I struggle with sharing my personal struggles on the internet. In the last, I'd say 6 months of my life, I've really reflected on that and felt that maybe if I had somebody talking about these things publicly, I would have felt better growing up. So I decided that I've missed YouTube. I was never really authentically myself, but you know, I've started getting better at accepting that people don't always like me. We can chat a little bit. These are tips that I have started doing in my daily life and all to try to get my together. I did have a mini mental breakdown and I'm recovering from it, so I wanted to give you kind of an update on me. So I know that mental health is important for every single human being, whether you have been through a lot of traumatic experiences. There is obviously a sliding scale, but I think everybody struggles and everybody experiences trauma throughout their life, and it's kind of how you deal with it that will make or break your mental health.
Hi everybody, I'm here editing. Please, I don't know what happened here. I self-tanned. I don't know what's going on here. Let's just not talk about it. A little disclaimer, I am not a medical professional. I am not a therapist. This is what I personally do. This is just advice from a person who has, you know, daily struggles and wants to help people out. But if you want real, true professional advice, please see a doctor or a therapist who is certified. Anyway, this is really hard to look at, so I'm gonna go, but on to the video.
I've gotten decent at dealing with my trauma and nowhere near perfect. Let's just start from the beginning, I guess. Yeah, I started YouTube when I was 10. I always posted singing videos, mostly covers. Covers have never really been something that I've been passionate about. I do love, you know, performing covers that I resonate with, but I generally would call myself more of a singer-songwriter. So I wasn't feeling as fulfilled as I wish I was, because I wasn't making original music when I was on there. And I do a lot more of that now. I started out YouTube when I was living in Indiana, so I lived there from the age of 9 to 18. My childhood was different. Here I am today, doing a lot better than I was previously. Like I said, I'm recovering from a mental breakdown, so I am not at all preaching and saying that I am good to go. In order to get to the place where I am today, I've had to work really hard at my character development. I've been taught some incorrect things along the way and incorrect ways to treat myself. I've listened to a lot of podcasts, I've gone to therapy. Every single person should be proud to participate in any kind of therapy that they feel works for them. And I think that most people would benefit greatly from therapy. There's always a time where you need to talk to somebody, and it's not been easy to get a therapist. That's what people don't talk about a lot. I've struggled to afford therapy. I struggled to find a therapist that worked for me, but if you put your mind to it, you can end up figuring it out. And even if you cannot afford it and you're really living paycheck to paycheck, I am always here, and I'm sure you have, you know, a friend or a family member or somebody that you can talk to. My platform's always open. My therapist actually says I give great advice. Anyway, where was I? My parents got divorced when I was 12. My parents had a very unhealthy relationship. That didn't feel like it really affected me much, but I think it really did. One of my parents moved away to another country. Since then, I've tried to kind of rekindle things with that parent. I grew up with a single parent. So since then, unfortunately, I don't have contact just because it was very traumatic and hard to continue a relationship when I was trying to heal, which was a very hard decision, and it still hurts and I still think about it a lot, but sometimes it's the best thing to do. I definitely struggled a lot, so there is hope. That's why I really want to be here and talk to you guys about this, and this is a really serious video, and that's why I've been not really wanting to do it, kind of, but I do want to be there for somebody that maybe is going through the same thing and feels like there's absolutely no hope, and I just want to be here and let you know there is. You can do this, it's okay, you're gonna make it. I have had to make a lot of lifestyle changes because of all the things that I've gone through, and I'm gonna talk about that too. So as a child, if you think about it, you are in a state where you're very much developing mentally. You're learning things from, you know, your parents or whoever's raising you or whoever's around that is your role model. I learned a lot of unhealthy habits and ways of going about life. The way I would talk about myself and feel about myself kind of rooted from that. So I have definitely struggled with a lot of anxiety. So yeah, I have not had the easiest upbringing. I'm sure I can get into more detail if people do want to hear about it. And I was going to touch upon the different things that I do to kind of pull myself out of things that I'm going through, things that I'm struggling with. It sounds lame, and I've talked to my friends about this before, and they're like, when I think about people doing well in life and not struggling, I don't see them sitting there having to talk to themselves in the mirror. Positive affirmations are a big thing. I'm sure you've heard of them. And it feels kind of lame because they're like these weird things that I would maybe be embarrassed to do in front of other people in order to feel like normal and okay. And I'm thinking, you know, other people don't have to do these things, they just automatically feel that way. You're mostly seeing social media, which is fake AF. It's so fucking fake. And it's not real, and you have to keep that in mind constantly. That's something that has been really beneficial to me. People only show a lot of times the best parts of their life, and they want to portray themselves as like a together happy person because they're trying to get their shit together too, aren't we all? Positive affirmations and all the tips and tricks that I do are a way for me to kind of retrain my own brain, since I didn't have great guidance growing up, to get to a point where I feel confident. And that's really the root of, I'd say, the issue, is not feeling worthy and not having self-love, because loving yourself is the absolute most important thing in the world, in my opinion. That's something that I truly work on so much. And I'm not perfect. Like I said the other day, I literally spent the whole day in bed, and the next day I will get my shit together and get on track. So here I am, kind of in my process of getting on track. So I'm gonna kind of explain what helps me personally get on track. Self-love and self-care are two different things. Self-care is kind of how I start my jumpstart back into self-love. Self-care can help. So that's anywhere from me taking a bath, or maybe it's cooking like a really dope meal and some amazing dessert. Self-love is different. And yes, you are taking care of yourself and doing things for yourself, which is really important, but self-love is a whole different thing. And that's kind of, for me, learning how to mentally kind of rewire the way I think about myself and the way I think about my potential for success. So some of my tips, I would say, are, again, I do something for, you know, self-care. Meditation is really important too. I do not do it enough. I'm the first person to admit my faults, which I'm also looking to get my life together while I'm helping you, hopefully. One of the things that I did today, because I did lay in bed, you know, the whole day the other day, I got ready today. I never really look like this, especially during the pandemic. I look like, you know what, I was gonna say I look like butt, but I am a beautiful, strong, sexy ass woman. But you know, we all have our rough days. I'll tell you my day today, which is my day to kind of get back on track, which I usually do something similar to this schedule. I try to wake up early-ish. So I did get a good full 8 hours of sleep. At night before I went to bed, I read a book. I did not watch TV. I have a show that I'm watching right now, which is The OC, and it's addictive, and all the drama, I live for it. I struggle sometimes falling asleep. I listen to a night meditation, which I do have a subscription to Headspace, the app. I think it's phenomenal, and I think it's well worth the money. But it is slightly expensive. But there are other free apps, and there is a free version of Headspace, so it's like a storytelling thing. That's kind of really helpful when I'm listening to some kind of meditation or storytelling, because then when I do have some kind of intrusive thought come through and I'm trying to relax, I can listen to whatever story, and it's a lot healthier than watching, you know, a TV show. I did snooze my alarm a couple times.
Still working on it. I'm still working on myself.
And I went on a walk. I didn't feel like working out today. It's been raining, so it stopped this morning, and I'm like, I'm gonna go on a walk. It's nice and fresh and crispy outside. And I listened to a podcast, and it was like just kind of a motivational podcast. I'll link it below as well. And then I made myself a nice substantial breakfast. I also stretched. I forgot to mention that. Stretching is really good because it's just really good for your body. You don't have to necessarily work out or do something that you don't want to do. Just getting a little bit of movement in is always beneficial. But also make sure you're listening to your body. I drank my coffee, and then I wrote out all of my to-do lists. I like to plan the week. This is kind of the routine that I have, and I think that is a healthy routine. That looks different for every single person, but I'm just giving you my personal experience and what works for me. And then I planned my day. So that is something that really helps me. I am also very ADD, so like my mind is all over the place, and if I don't write it down, I am not gonna remember to do it. So those are kind of my jot section. So right here, I have a list of all the things that come to mind that I have to do. And there's no like right or wrong way. I also have healthy habits and like reminders up here. So some of those are bed stretches, planning my week, affirmations, which I have posted all over my room, all over my mirror. So when I wake up and I'm like, ew, you look ugly and you look chunky and like blah, I say, no, that is incorrect. You are beautiful, you are special, you are worthy of love and wealth and success. So then I start to plan my week. I have it planned up until Saturday, so that's not the full week. Sunday is kind of a chill day for me. I start to connect where I can put my jot list on my schedule. Staying consistent is the biggest thing. Any routine will turn into a habit once it hits like 2-3 weeks. That's kind of the gist. I can't wait to share more, to be real and honest. Thanks for listening to my ramble, and it means a lot. I will see you next time. Bye.